Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our review of Power Book 3 Raising Kanan, Episode 2. This show is very clearly not holding back on anything.
The show is doing a really good job of showing the deeper sort of humanity behind everything and the pain behind the stuff that is going on all around Kanan and things that Kanan has caused real pain, and that he's actually seeing what's happening, that there are, repercussions for what he has done.
There was like one question I had entering this show more than anything else, and it was, why did Kanan become the person that he did in Power? Like, what were all the chains of events? I think we're seeing a big like link on that metaphorical chain tonight with just what happened to Dwizs as
Yeah.
sort of the Kanan philosophy being born.
Yep.
All right, well, we're gonna talk all about poor D-Wiz and everything else that transpired. There's a lot going on, but of course, subscribe to the channel because we're here after every episode, breaking everything down, and we don't want you guys to miss any of that.
All right, well, let's start a little bit. I touched on this already about Kanan sort of seeing the after effects of, shooting Buck 20 and what ended up happening with that. This was one of his peers, someone he was going to school with, someone that, Divina, who he's very much
Yes.
interested in, was with this boy. This has really had a ripple effect throughout the school, but also just with this girl that he really cares about. And he's seeing her getting into fights and how badly she's hurting, and then even runs into her later on when she's walking her sister down the block, and she's just like, four sentences, that's it, that's all that was written about him in the paper, that's it. Like, I hope that I get more than that when something happens to me. It was really heartbreaking to hear that, and it was, seeing it on Kanan's face too, that it was really registering with him that he's done something that has hurt somebody that he really cares about, hurt his family, that this is not just something that he's done for his mom, he has done it to other people.
It really just cycles back to what Kanan, or I guess the 50 Cent version of Kanan, said at the end of the premiere, where it's like all of this stuff, it sticks with him. Like, you don't forget that first moment like this, even if you're someone like Kanan, who we know probably kills dozens upon dozens of people before he meets his
Yeah.
demise.
And especially because this particular killing has affected someone that he has basically loved since first grade, someone that he has loved from afar, that he cares about very, very deeply.
And it was good to actually get more Divina in this episode because,
Yep.
like, that first, for the premiere, it felt very much like, okay, this is this person who's almost sort of just like far away for Kanan. He has her up on some pedestal that he can't exactly reach to. But, we saw like it's the immediate sort of humanity that she's going through, where, of course, she's going to have problems after something like this happens to her.
The pain that she's going through, I felt that right through the screen. This character's very well written. This actress is amazing. I said this in the premiere. I really like Lovey. I've seen her over on Greenleaf. I loved her there too. It's a very different role for her, and she's killing it.
I think all the Divina stuff is just going to continue to unravel because we kind of know in the power world, secrets don't really stay secrets. And she already brought up the fact that, Buck 20 and Caden and his friends, there's a pretty generous dose of beef that's going on here.
Yeah, and he was not honest. And I mean, of course, how can he be honest? That's not something that he's going to be able to talk about ever really with her. But it isn't the greatest way to kind of start off a romance if that is where
Yeah.
it's going.
I think the thing that was so interesting is it's like they're juxtaposing. There we go. You have on one side of things, here's what Kanan's going through in the aftermath of Buck 20.
Yep.
School problems,
Yep.
Davina
Yep.
trying to maintain these relationships. Here's what Rock is dealing with on the other side of Buck 20. How do you find a way to sort of deal with the implications of losing somebody who is a part of Unique's crew when people on Unique's crew are not going to be happy at all that this happened?
Yeah, that meeting with Rock and Unique where they were kind of talking about when is this actually going to be kind of crushed, and where are they able to start to move forward from this? And he said, yeah, okay, I've got the blocks, that's fine, but his family, wants blood. They want sort of a person for a person, that it's not enough to just sort of like, yeah, okay, I've got the blocks, but that doesn't help his family's pain. Like the pain is still there. And I mean, really is, a body for a body going to take away the pain of losing their child? Nothing takes away
No.
the pain of losing a child. That will be with them forever.
It's something where when I think you're just emotionally distraught, you're looking for anything that's going to sort of symbolize, okay, I can move forward now. And I think because Unique's organization is what it is, that there are people within it that aren't going to accept any other sort of punishment, but it does set the stage for just this brutal end of this episode for Dwizs. And I don't know why I did not see this coming, but I legitimately did not see this coming.
I saw where this was going. I felt really bad. It was, I mean, Rock knew that she had to give somebody up, and that if it ended up being Kanan, of course, she didn't want to be him, so she was gonna have to find another way. So this ended up, unfortunately, being Dwiz's fate. That she set him up to be killed, to sort of take the fall for everything, as sort of a, okay, the person that was responsible or had a hand in Buck being killed is now also dead, so everybody is square. Where we also saw Detective Howard come in and talk to Unique, saying, listen, like, we already have one person, one young boy who is dead in this. I need to not have any more people dying, no more young people, no more, like, just, it has to stop. And Unique was like, yeah, okay, I hear you on this. And now this has happened.
I I just wonder, and we don't know a lot about Howard yet, and I'm sure we'll get more of him. Clearly, he has his own code. He's not exactly following the letter of the law on everything.
Yeah, but we are only 2 episodes
Yeah.
in, and we have two very, very young men that are dead.
Yeah. And
2 episodes.
just Howard sort of thinking about this was just really surprising to me in the first place, and how he navigates somebody like Unique. And now this has happened. I just wonder if Howard knew that something like this was inevitably going to happen, because he's clearly been around this area for a long time. He didn't just show
Yeah.
up here.
Yeah, it seemed like he was really hoping that he could lean into Unique's wants, desires, ambition, a little bit of his ego, to sort of be like, listen, there can be one king. Do you want to wear the crown? I'm betting on you. Like, but you got to give me something too. That's how this works. I need people to stop being killed. I need young people to stop being killed. And if that's the way that he's able to do it, to be like, hey, if you need a friend, I have to look away, whatever's going to happen, okay, but this is what you have to give me.
Maybe it shows in a weird way almost how helpless Howard is, where he sort of knows that this, they're undermanned. They don't have the ability to sort of stop or do anything like that. So maybe this is his best recourse in his mind of trying to get through to Unique this way, though clearly it doesn't matter for somebody like Dwizz in the end.
No, it really didn't. And I mean, the way that this was all put together by Rock, I mean, she's got an alibi. She's with Symphony. Lulu was at the club. Like, he was seen by a whole bunch of people. Marvin at the club. Like, Kanan is at home. He's not with anybody, but he was seen with Divina now. She'll be able to be an alibi. Of course, Rock doesn't know that they were going to run into each other, but everybody's covered.
I have to say, Lulu is an immensely more fascinating character for me now. Like, after the first episode, I made it very clear. I was all in on Marvin, which, by the way, I'm still all in on. Marvin is a mess. Like, I don't know what's going on with him a lot of the time, but give me all the Marvin. Lulu, he's very interesting, where he's like, I'm going to give you this great experience for you, Dwizz. I'm going to take you out. I'm going to give it, and then I'm going to go in the back, and then I'm going to kill you.
the whole way that this was put together was really just heartbreaking. Like, because I know you didn't see it
Yeah.
coming. I felt like this is sort of where things were going when Rock had brought up, okay, I need you to be sort of Reggie tonight. I was like, oh no, okay, so she needs him to be a hitter, and that's not great. And then as soon as he was like, get in the car, I'm like, oh, please don't get in the car. Oh, you're gonna have the best night of your life. It was almost like there was a little bit of sort of guilt behind it and bad feeling about it, that's just like, oh man, like I know that this kid does not deserve to die,
Yeah.
and I have to do this thing so that I can help protect Kane.
It also kind of makes you think, how far did every single person in this plan go? Because Marvin made quite a spectacle of himself to make it very, very clear where he was and what he was doing.
Yeah, but I feel like Marvin really did not know much of what was going on. It really felt like he was just like, what are you talking about, Reggie? What? I don't know, whatever.
I just give me more Marvin. That's all I gotta say about that.
I really like Marvin. He's adorable.
Marvin is great. Everything that was, and I think in a way it's good to have a character like that, because there's so much going on in this show right now that it's just like so unbelievably dark. Like,
Yes, there is, and that's why it's interesting that part of the light of the show right now, considering where we know Jukebox ends up, is
yeah,
Jukebox of sort of this love story, this very genuine love story between these two characters. It's just, and her singing career that she's trying to move into, and just she's really trying to do things the best way that she can.
I think if we're to sort of look at Raising Kanan like through the lens of characters losing their innocence, it's sort of like Jukebox is like the one person in this show who still has a little bit of that, where she's able to sort of get away from it for a little while. And she has this love story with someone who comes from a very different part of the city. And it's just, it has her thinking about other things. She's pursuing other things. Like, we hear her just beautifully sing near the end of this episode. And it is just this brutal contrast to what else is going on. And it makes me even sadder knowing that this is all going to go away.
Yeah, like because we all know where Jukebox ends up and how
Yeah.
sort of dark she becomes. As much as I'm interested in Kanan's story, and I really am, I have gone into this series being equally as interested of where Jukebox is going to sort of start out and how she gets to that point.
There's one character at the moment that I really am not feeling altogether, and this is after last week's sort of thing. I had all these sort of visions that maybe she would batter down the road, but Malcolm's partner, Shannon, I'm just like, okay, do you just exist to sort of be like, you need to be more by the book? Because that's what it felt like, that she was just the classic follow the rules cop, whereas we have Malcolm who's
Yeah.
not.
No, it felt like she was just very new, that she's just like, oh, well, of course, the first person we're going to go talk to is the mother. That's where you would normally start, is the family members. And I think she just got shut down so quickly because Detective Howard is like, no, I know how to deal with this in another way to make sure that no more people get killed, because the way you're going about it, you're looking for the person who's, let's try to find the killer. Well, the real way to stop this is to try to get the people in charge to stop having bodies dropping.
The only other thing that's lingering in my head now at this point is Kanan. He's gonna learn more, obviously, about everything that's going down. Like episode 3, it's not gonna be an easy one for this character, and we're already in such a dark place, and it's gonna get worse, and it's gonna get even worse beyond that. But
Yeah, and especially where Kanan is, because he really thinks or thought
yeah,
that he was going to be learning the business. And basically, he was sent off to be babysat by somebody. And when he confronted Rock about it, it was just like, what? Why? I thought you were supposed to be helping me or teaching me. She kind of came up with this. oh, this is part of the
Yeah.
teaching, to do what I say and don't ask questions. And it's kind of like, okay, that's probably part of it, but really you just don't want him out on the
Yeah.
streets. And because he's young and he's your son, he's kind of believing it. I think he just, he wants to take a lesson from it, but he really does just want to be like, throw me in,
Yeah.
coach, I'm ready to go. But he really isn't.
This is not Daniel LaRusso asking you to paint the fence on your way to doing the karate training. This
No,
is,
this is mom's protecting you in the best way that she can
yeah.
while she goes and tries to deal with cleaning up more of your mess. Like everything that happened with Kanan, like it has had so many repercussions, not just emotionally on, Buck's family or Divina or Kanan. Like it's also affected the business side of things and sort of all of that. Like it has really caused a lot of turmoil.
Here's the thing, though, is that we're 2 episodes in, and this show is great. Like, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. It is. I mean, it is
10 out of
painful.
10. It is really good.
Like, I feel like much more emotional within 2 episodes of this than I certainly was 2 episodes into Power Book 2 Ghost, where I felt like they were still kind of figuring stuff out.
Yeah, I mean, that show is good, but it did take a little while to find its footing. Where Raising Kanan has found its footing right away and started running right away.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to see where things go here, but let us know in the comments, guys. What did you think about episode 2? Are you feeling this show more? Is it more painful now than it was after the premiere? Be sure to let us know. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any other updates we have coming on Raising Kanan. We're also discussing Animal Kingdom
Yep.
here at the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you here next time.